Hi, Billy Peterson. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about the election and what past elections have done to investors and to the markets. First, let me ask you a question. Which political party do you believe would have been the best for historical performance in the stock market? Usually, we get the answer, Republican. However, most people are surprised to see that actually a Democrat president has been historically the best for average returns for the S&P 500. This data, again, going back to 1961, you can see a Republican president has delivered 8.71%. Let's talk about the cost of anxiety. People who have made the decision maybe to move out of the market and wait for the dust to settle, nervous about a political candidate, nervous about having their money invested while someone is in office that they don't like. I know many, many people who made that decision when Obama became president and decided to actually sit out the entire presidential term, 8 years. And it's actually been a phenomenal period of time for investors over most of that time frame. So this just shows you, if you, in the blue, it shows you actually fully invested and added money during election years. Your 10,000 would have grown to over 2.8 million. If you just stay put, don't move, don't add, you just leave it alone, 10,000 grows to 1.8 million. But if you decide to move to cash during those election years, your 10,000 is worth 1.1 million. So it's a full $750,000 less than if you just stayed invested and not messed with it. So again, the cost of anxiety can be extremely expensive. Let's talk about another way to look at that is how many times in a presidential election year has the market gone up? Most people think it's a very bad time to be investing. If you look at this, the past 14 election years, 12 of those 14 have been positive. The two that have been negative actually occurred during some major economic issues in our country. The first was the technology bubble in 2000, and the second was the real estate and global recession that occurred in 2008. So what do we recommend you do from here? Well, I think from these slides, the best advice we can give you is typically to write out your strategy, to stay the course, to look long term, to not let short-term uncertainty and the media especially drive your decisions. You can see there the White House is a 4-year term, 4-year vision. Your House, which we call Your House, which is a 40-year vision. This is from Hartford Funds, a good partner of ours who helps us with these presentations. They suggest staying invested in your own campaign. What is your campaign? Well, it's a well thought out financial or retirement plan that you've created with the professional help of a trusted advisor. And you have a strategy in mind, you have a long-term plan in mind, and you're not going to get rattled by short-term uncertain events. Many times we see people who decide they want to move in or out, try to time things, they find out that they timed it incorrectly, and they never get back in. So you can see that in the below chart between the blue and the red graph bar chart. Individual investors drastically underperform the market. Why? Because individual investors try to make decisions based on emotion. The S&P 500, just left alone, averaged 11.1% over the last 30 years, while the average investor, and this is actually backed by data, has averaged only 3.8%. Why? Because they move in and out exactly when they shouldn't be. So, again, the advice is, know that this is an election that will come and will pass. Know that the markets already anticipate this. It's not an uncertain or unknown event. The markets know that there's one of two candidates who are going to win. And currently, the markets are behaving rationally. So I would just, again, ask you to consider the long-term ramifications of making sudden knee-jerk reaction or decisions and try to stick to your long-term plan. If you need to make some adjustments and small adjustments, I think those might be suitable. But the markets will find a way to stabilize if we have any disruptions. Remember, corporations, businesses in this country are in business to make a profit. And no matter who's in the White House, they will figure out how to be profitable with whatever policies are presented. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.